Don't you know that the music should be solid?
Live
from wherever you are, wherever you are. We got a guy in this show, White House Plumbers, which I just wrapped last night.
Hey, congratulations.
Woohoo. Toby Haas, who does Frank Sinatra, probably better than Ron Perlman. And fuck, is he funny.
Maybe better than Frank Sinatra.
Yeah, and Woody's pretty damn good at it too. Like maybe better than Frank. In fact, Toby Haas has played Frank Sinatra in a couple of shows, so don't get him going. Hi, buddy. How are you?
I'm good. Did you, and not to veer off completely, but it's something that's always interested me. Do you know that they were going to do a Sinatra movie, right? And there was multiple talks of DiCaprio. Yeah. Scorsese wanted to do it, and DiCaprio was going to play him. And
yeah, what happened?
The estate won't let them do it. Apparently, hearsay.
Allegedly,
and a big reason why a lot of estates don't want filmmakers to make films about the singers is because if it comes off in a bad light, it could affect the music sales, which is what the estates make their money off. So apparently, allegedly, they didn't want to do the film because of there's a lot of things about him that maybe aren't that great.
You know, you lift up a rock and sometimes you get beautiful grass and sometimes you get other little crawly things there and you just don't know.
Crawly things, but there's a lot of shit underneath those rocks. Yeah. So how are you? That's great, man. Congratulations.
Thanks, buddy.
Where are you going?
Well done. Well, I'm going to go see my mom, Joyce, now.
Yeah.
I haven't seen my mom in so long. You know that. And I'm going to keep these sideburns just for her. I'm going to start growing.
So she's not going anywhere.
No, but it'll remind her of Fred, these sideburns, because my dad used to rock these sideburns. So don't shave before you count. No, I won't, Ma. And then I'm going to start losing some weight so I can play Theo Rossi at a younger age. Then I'm going to
grow the mustache. That's my only.
Well, I got to start growing all my hair again.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
People go, you know, and what if I love it all, but they go, so where's that fucking mustache? Well, I'm an actor.
No, that's you gotta understand.
Well, but what does she wear? Well, because I'm playing a guy.
I was thinking about something when I was running this morning. This is so weird that we went into this so early. So I was thinking about the more drastic the characters come that I play, like because I'm starting to kind of like really just.
I don't know. You're getting worse than me.
Yeah.
Your characters are now. You're gone from C to W.
Yeah.
You were always M and N.
Yeah.
You're crazy, bro.
Yeah.
You're in that character actor group now that
anything I get now, I'm like, how extreme can I change myself? Like, what can I do? Right? Can I dye my hair? Can I shave my eyebrows? Can I gain 30 pounds? Like, I just want to change everything, right? Can I do prosthetics? What can I do? So I was thinking how weird it would be because back in the day, I love when I'm at this point in my age where I say back in the day a lot. Back in the day, the only way you knew actors outside of films or TV that they were doing was you'd see them on like a late night talk show. And we've talked about this before. You really didn't know much about them. And they were able to keep not just their anonymity as a person, but they were able to keep their looks as an anonymity if they were character actors, right? So you really didn't. Oh wow, is that what he looks like? Like I told you, I've always told this famous story, and you're friends with him. Is Gary Oldman? When I saw him in a bar once when I was young, when I first got to LA, I knew who he was, but no one knew who he was, and I was like, Gary Oldman. And everybody's like, who's that? And I said, boom, 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 boom. I rapped off, State of Grace, True Romance, Fifth Element. I was rapping off all these movies, Dracula, and people are like, doesn't look like him. I said, that's the point, motherfucker, right? So I was thinking while I was running today, how weird.
That's the point, motherfucker.
That's the point, motherfucker. You're not supposed to look like yourself. So I was thinking, wouldn't it be weird if you went to like premieres in sunglasses, a hat, and a hood? If like you just went, you never made people see what you look like. And then for your characters, you were so wildly different. But you would talk to them, you're being cool. You're just like, I don't exist.
No, that's great. You remember that concert you and me went to, Eminem in LA?
Yeah.
We had those seats so close. And he came out with that hoodie and he just wore a hood, and then he'd take it off and put the hoodie back on. And Detroit boy, just doing his thing. I don't know, man. Whatever makes you comfortable in your real life. And he's a performer that he can wear whatever the hell he wants
Yeah,
to.
he hides. He hides.
He
Like you
hides.
never see him except his music.
He hides.
And that's, I was thinking, the more like I'm fortunate, and we're both very fortunate as, and the more we work, and I know that obviously the consumption of media is so different now because there's so much of it, but it's like the more we work, the more like I just come home and hide. And if you're not part of like the Theory fam, if you're not part of like this Patreon thing, I haven't posted on Instagram in months. Like I don't post anything. I don't care about social media anymore. And it's like, I'm just over it. It's been too long now. Like it's tiring. And if I have a project, like I saw you post about the Snapchat thing, which I think is going to be so cool and looks so
Yeah,
great.
in fact,
Such a great trailer.
Yeah, I got to tell you, it's really so unbelievably way cooler than I thought. It's just pretty fucking great.
Super cool.
And
And the promos are cool.
And I've been doing a lot of press for it, obviously, last couple of days, because we've been filming nights. And Theo, other than talking about Snapchat and talking about my show, people want to know about this podcast we're doing. They know that
That's
you're
it.
know
So
that
if
I'm
you're part of this, you get to know us.
they just go, so that Theory stuff is just, you're blowing up, and you guys are talking about the show, right? And then I tell them we didn't see many of the shows, and now it's fun for you and I to go. Anyway, it's just
somebody was like, oh, they're doing a show, a rewatch show. I was like, or a first watch. You can call it a rewatch, you can call it a first watch. But the point is, it's like the more I think I'm trying to disappear more in my personal life. And I said this, tell me what you think about this. I was saying this the other day, and maybe it came up when I was watching the thing with Nero. But I got all these workers at the house. Again, very fortunate, super grateful that I'm able to do all this stuff to this ranch we moved in on. And there's, a bunch of dudes here, a bunch of guys and gals doing all their everything from landscaping to this Tesla solar roof, which I can't wait to talk about. It's one of the coolest things I've ever done. And some of the guys are like sons. Some of the guys are like, oh shit, Shades, Luke Cage, right? And then some of the dudes are like, Lowriders, bro. I love Lowriders. And then another guy would be like, I just watched Army of the Dead. And I'm like, oh. And I was sitting here thinking, if you have 5 things that people know you from, 5, I put the number at 5, like obviously some are going to be more than others. Sons is always going to be, it was, an enigma, whatever, global phenomenon. But if you have 5 things that people go, I saw you in this, 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 and this, I think you've made it as an actor. What do you think?
Maybe even 4, maybe even 3. 4. Like, it's so tough right now in the business. I mean, for us to
be known for something,
to be known. So yeah, no, you and I have no problem in the hard work and fortune that we've had to be known for 5 things. And I would argue there's probably more than that. But yeah, no.
When I'm with you, it's like people come up and they start hitting on all these things with you. Obviously, the first that I've heard the most recent, obviously Sons is always number 1. And then it's Bad Blood, Waterworld, Client, and Island, everything else, Pearl, they'll just know you. Black Hawk Down is obviously a big one, but they know you from all this other stuff. And I think that when you know somebody from those things, to me, that's when you kind of become part of the persona, like you become one with the community of.
Well,
people,
that's so nice and that's true. And there was a gal today, I went out to get my coffee, and she was on one of those scooters, and she had a mask on. I was, and I'm walking beside, I got my shades on. She goes, oh, I know that face. I know that face. Hey man, I go, you a fan? I'm a fan. No picture, just want to say, I know that. Like,
I'm a fan.
Just nice.
It's so, and it's so cool because I just think that it makes a comfortability. And that's why, I think I'm so out of the game of like, I don't, I know that the game has changed dramatically, but like, I don't want to be known for like one thing. Like, oh, you're that guy from that.
You're not. Not anymore.
And while that's also awesome, because then the way the world works now is 30 years later, you can redo the show again, you 30 years older. That's kind of the big thing now. Prequels, sequels, kind of the whole thing. But it's just a really interesting time in our business. So I'm so proud of you for wrapping this show. I'm really looking forward to it. Obviously, I'm a history freak. Sturgis is the pictures I've seen are going to be incredible. And then when does the Snapchat thing come out?
Yeah, so this is we're doing this now. It'll come out on Tuesday, Wednesday of next week. Snapchat will have opened the 10th, which is Saturday, a couple of days ago when the peeps hear about all this.
Yeah.
It opens the 10th and they drop a new episode every 2 days. 10, 12, 14, 16.
How long are the episodes?
The episodes are between 5 and 7 minutes each.
Holy shit.
And there's 10 of them. And that's it. We're done. Yeah. That's what they're doing now. And Theo, you know this face, you know this craggy face.
I do.
You know it. You know it like you know it well. I don't know what they've done with these new lenses, Sony cameras. I look so fucking good. Like, I don't know what happened. And Nikki Hamilton,
young
Sean McGuire. There's some really good people in this thing. And really exciting. Jacob Moats, who wrote it and showrun, he's pretty proud. And you never know.
It's been a journey for you.
Yeah.
I think I've done like 3 movies or 3 projects while you were doing that.
I think, honestly, since we started back in the business in August, September of last year,
wow, you've
done 6, maybe 7 projects.
7.
Yeah.
Or maybe 8 if you count the.
Probably 8, maybe closer to 10. I'm definitely between that 5 and 10 as well. So
yeah,
come on.
It's amazing. So speaking of cool things, so Caesar just texted me while we were on this. We're going to be dropping, as this episode airs, we're doing our new merch drop. Woo-hoo!
Oh goodness. Thank you, Caesar.
Yeah, and part of that merch drop is that pin, which I'm so excited about.
You can't get the pin out of your head.
I love the pins. If you look at
you are the pin guy.
I wear denim jackets like the Outsiders. I look like Kinnicky mixed with Pony Boy, and I wear the denim jackets and I put the pins on them. I like my flair. So this pin is going to take over for some other pins, or maybe be added to. Have you ever seen the pins I keep on my jacket?
I do. I fucking hang with you all the time.
I got the crowns on one side above the heart. That's for
you love them.
And then I have my kind of fun ones. So I have my Spike Lee Do the Right Thing pin. I have my Warriors pin. Did you ever see the Warriors? You would have been great. Come out.
Of course they did.
How great is that movie? So I have the Baseball Furies logo. I have the Orphans logo, which is all from the Warriors. I love that movie.
You were a baby. You didn't see it live.
70s, no, but it was a big part of my childhood.
Yeah.
Here's what's different about being a kid then. I remember, as weird as this sounds, I don't know when it came out. Do you remember Dudley Moore?
Yeah.
Okay. I remember I must have been an infant, and they had on 10 with Bo Derek, with her running on the beach. And they were watching it, and I was watching it. And I was
if they would have had a replay, I would have just rewound that day in and day out. Yeah. They didn't have it back then.
I had to be a child, and here was this drunk, like, Englishman getting in and out of limos in his movies. Because
I made $1 billion. That guy
made $1 billion. He did.
Couldn't remember his lines.
Couldn't remember anything. But back then, I try to tell my kids this: what my parents watched, I watched. That if you wanted to be in front of a TV, you were watching what they watched. That's just the way it was. It wasn't like, oh, I want to put on whatever the kids watch now. My son comes in and grabs the controller. He's 6, and he knows how to navigate a smart TV to go to Hulu and HBO Max and all these different things. And I'm like, I didn't have rights.
You're Dudley Moore.
Touch the room. Dudley Moore. I watched Dudley Moore. And I watched Richard Pryor movies. Before my birthday.
Richard Pryor didn't get any better.
All he watched: Stir Crazy. What was the other? The Toy. I watched The Toy all the time with Jackie Gleason. Great movie. But it's so different. So and here we are now. We're at 7-minute episodes on Snapchat.
Yeah,
we've come a long way.
That's how that's the way the world is right now, bro.
So Freddie Sideburns would have been, Kim, how long is the show?
So wait. Is it over? Was it on? Mom, that was 6 minutes. What?
I was talking the whole
time. Cup of coffee.
You didn't have time to make coffee. People used to drink coffee all throughout the day. I guess they still do, but they would.
Oh, my mom and dad all day long. I have one cup of coffee in the morning. I'm woo, and then it's over for me.
This is why I tell my mom, because I'll be like, you have to drink more water. She goes, I just don't like it. I'm like, no, I know, but you have to. Like the fact that I, founded a water company based on drinking more water. I was like, you literally have to drink more water. And she's like, it makes me pee all the time. I'm like, that's the point. You're supposed to pee.
My father-in-law, Michael Chappell, always used to say, well, I can't drink water. I drink it in beer. There's water in beer. I know, Mike.
I had
that's
two
not like
teas today. I had 2 coffees. They have water. So it's not.
All right. Are you ready?
So here we go. Let's get into this. By the way, you want to talk about just really not knowing what the fuck is going on. I watched this episode completely blind. I didn't remember one thing that happened here.
Nope, not one. And also, may I, to thine own self.
Yep. That's a prayer thing, right?
Be true.
Yeah.
Now, Hamlet, famous quote. This is like from Hamlet, an orchestra playing some songs. So Sutter.
Nobody could hear what you're doing.
Huh?
Nobody can hear that except for you. I heard maybe a beat.
Oh, well, that's all right.
Because you didn't even play it into the microphone. You just held it up.
Okay.
No, it's still not happening.
Can't hear it? Okay, fuck that then. But it's all about the try. And all I wanted to say is it's a quote from Hamlet, to be thyself, be true to thyself. So, okay, thank you, Kurt. I guess Jax is on that thing. All right, so Tara.
It opens with Jax and Tara. He's waking up, right?
Yeah,
He's
just
waking
go.
up.
Tara, go, run away. I'm thinking, go, run away. Get the fuck out of that town. What are you doing?
Yeah, she says it's their last chance.
Yeah.
And it is. And the truth is, now, if you really want to go back, let's remember this episode. This is their last chance. This is it.
I think you're right.
Shit from here.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, listen, I do like those little more intimate scenes. I do feel for Tara. Again, man, she took so much flack when we were doing the show. The character.
You keep saying that. Now, did we feel that back in the day? Because
I did.
Wow.
The team, remember it was Team Gemma shirts?
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah, people had Team Gemma shirts.
Uh-huh.
Whether that be just their love for Gemma or if it was as opposed to Tara.
Uh-huh.
Because like they did with Clay, they made Tara basically the antagonist or protagonist, whatever you want to look at, she was the opposite of Gemma. Even though they got along, she
was going to take Jax away from Charming. She was going to take Jax away from the club. Tara's going to do this with Jax. Well, you know what? She should have. It would have ended
because she's the only one who had a head on her shoulders.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
So Clay and Gemma go to the kitchen, and it kind of almost mirrors that scene in a way. She's playing the part.
Yep.
And then she starts talking about chances. Everybody's talking. Perlman, Clay says, I feel like we got another chance.
Yeah. Clay's just going to try. It was a simple, beautiful scene that was, man. Again, we hark on the old times, the good old times.
Yeah.
Smart on Sutter's behalf to toss some of these old feelings in there because this show's different now. It's different.
It is. And again, I like these scenes that there's a lot of animosity underneath, or there's a lot of tension underneath, but everybody's trying to play the part.
Yep.
Which happens a lot in this episode. You have one, I have one. Everybody's playing this like, what are they really thinking? If we can see inside the mind, but what are they really saying? It's very different. So the crew, okay, this is where things go off the rails for me. But before we do that, before we leave the Clay and Gemma scene, he tells about Tara and Otto. She tells him about Tara and Otto unsuspectingly, and that immediately starts sparking stuff in Clay. People figure things out fast on this show, huh?
Well, we have no time. There's only 92 shows, Theo. We didn't go on for 4,000. And every time I would say to Snyder, but isn't there a scene that Tig needs to have with? No, we're out. Gotta go.
So the crew's with the lawyers. Here's the deal. I gotta say it.
Please.
I think that when you yell in real life, you have to earn yelling. Nobody should yell. It doesn't get anywhere. We all know there's no one who can listen to this and say, unless you're like yelling like your dog's about to get hit by a car and you're like, yo, and then the dog stops and doesn't get hit, like that's worth yelling.
Doesn't do any good otherwise. No.
But otherwise, yelling in general doesn't really work.
No, doesn't mean anything.
And then it definitely doesn't hold weight unless you don't do it so often, right? Like you can't yell. If you yell all the time, nobody takes you seriously. They go, oh, is he mad or is it just what he does? Because that guy's always yelling. I don't know. The yelling at the lawyer seemed odd for me. And there's lots of yelling.
I know why. I think I know why Jax is doing it though. If I may,
frustration.
He's so fucking frustrated. Anytime someone tells Jax the truth about a situation and it doesn't help him in the situation, he fucking snaps. He just yells. If she would have said something, if Robin Raggart, who's so good as the lawyer, would have said to Jack something that he wanted to hear or somewhere in the vicinity of what he needed to hear, he wouldn't have yelled. But he's chosen now to every time to be put in a vice, instead of getting out of it, he just snaps. He yells.
He's on the edge at all times.
On the edge. And again, no Tig in that scene. Tig's nowhere to be found in any kind of.
And I've thought about that, and the reason being is, I guess, because you're not in on it.
Nope, not in any of
the CIA stuff. You're not in on it. Yeah. So because you're not in on it, you've got relegated to the B team, for lack of a better word. Juice isn't even on a team.
No.
But you got relegated to a B team, and Bobby and Chibs are the A team.
They're the A team. That's it.
Yeah. Clay's on his own island. Juice is floating. He's more on the Clay team, and Tig has been put with Rat Boy, Filthy Phil, Happy, and everybody else. Which is, listen, this is where we started getting everybody divided up. I could have a lot to say about that. I think we still had a lot more juice in the melon, no pun intended, about that we could have rode with the team for a little more. We could have rode with the crew, but I didn't write the fucking show. So what do I know?
No, we didn't write the fucking show, but that's true. Season 5, near the end like this, it was on. Where are we going with this show? Where are we going?
Now we get to meet Donald Logue, but we don't really get to meet him. We just see some dude come in. We don't know anything about him. I don't remember a single thing except for his character name, which has not been told yet. And he comes in and beats him mercilessly, is the word he used.
To a pulp.
To a pulp.
Theo, I looked it up, and Donald Logue did 7 shows.
Okay.
Did I remember him? You bet. Who did he play? Don't have a fucking clue.
No.
What did he do?
I know the character. The character name is Lee Turek.
Okay.
I remembered that. Don't ask me.
Yeah.
It's one of those weird things in my brain that I went, oh, I know that name.
Good for you. And yeah.
Can I tell you another prediction I want to make? A prediction that my mind remembers weird things. I think his sister in real life on the show is also his sister on the show.
Who got killed?
Yeah.
I think you're right.
Okay. Your mic is doing something weird, by the way.
What's going on now?
Your mic is kind of going in and out. You're doing robot voice, but it might be fine. But it is doing robot voice.
Is it doing it now?
No.
Okay, maybe I just.
So maybe can you lower your gain just a slight?
Yeah.
I don't want you to mess anything up.
Yeah. There, I lowered it just a little bit right there. Maybe that's better. Maybe I shouldn't get so excitable.
No. Get excitable.
I've got the fist thing. The fist thing.
Yeah,
sorry. I'm doing
I don't know why you're doing that. It looks so
No, I'm
weird.
doing the fist. It's like I got a microphone in my.
Just don't spin it.
I'm not gonna spin it. And I won't spit either. I'm gonna leave it right there. Come on, I worked all night. I look so fucking good for a guy who said no.
You did well because you just rapped. Every time you rap, You can either go one or two ways. You can either look like death worn over, or you could look like totally refreshed because you're like, I'm leaving.
It's so true.
Yeah. It's either one. If you're, especially if it's a night shoot like you just did, sometimes I'm like crawling out of it. I'm like, I got to get a plane at 6 a.m. and I am donezo. I've learned a new lesson, not to break from what we're doing with the episode, where
well, we have broken, so, but go ahead.
We have. I make this mistake all the time where if I wrap at 3 a.m, I'll be like, I'm on a plane at 6 and I won't sleep and I'll go. But when I come home, it's like a scene out of The Lion King. Like I'm just getting attacked. There's no sleep. It's Mufasa. It's a mess, right? And
it's better to wait a day and get some rest.
I should wait a day. My new thing is wait a day. I have to, let me do one day where I get room service.
I see you showing up to the boys. You know that when your father you were like 2 or 3 and you cling onto his leg and you would walk her.
And then you walk with them.
And then you'd walk, right? I just see your boys doing that to you.
That's it. But theirs is different. They put me in chokeholds from behind and they try to choke me. Yeah, it's really interesting.
All right.
Okay. So back to this, Lee Turek comes in, beats him mercilessly, and then we're out. It happens really fast. Now Gemma and the crew are at TM, and Jax threatens Juice, of course, because Juice is the fucking whipping boy here, and just threatens him right out. Go do it, basically, or you're dead. And then tells Gemma everything. And I do have to point out in this scene, for the 900th time in our podcast live, Jesus Christ is used so much on this show that why didn't anybody decide to reel it in at one point? Because every time I hear someone say it, I want to jump through the wall like the Kool-Aid.
It's the closest thing to fuck that we could come up with.
Yeah, you're right.
And that's all we could say. There's no F-U-C-K. Booney has a scene coming up, and I pointed out where he got so close to saying fuck that the camera cut out just at the end, like, because he said fuck in every take, and you can't use fuck. Anyway, and Jackson's he's a powder cake. And this scene with Gemma and Jax, it finally became so crystal clear with Rico and the guns and the Irish and everything. It really was laid out beautifully for any of us fans of the show who need to be constantly reminded of the interworkings of the Clay and the Romeo and the Benito and the Jax. It's really confusing unless you're really on top of it.
And I get more confused by anything because and this is why when everybody at least is together, this is what I don't understand about the comprehension thing. Jax explains like a thing that took like 10 episodes, 20 episodes to establish in literally less than 2.5 minutes. And
yeah.
Like, wow. Okay. She never goes like, wow, that sounds complicated. What do you mean? They were CIA, they were cartel, and now they're CIA.
Say that again, Jax? Yeah, tell me that again. No.
Wait, are they allowed to kill people? Like, I'd have so many questions.
Yeah.
And it's just like, wow, okay, what are we going to do? Ask some questions, motherfucker. Okay, so.
No, are all TV shows like this? Maybe they are.
I don't watch enough of them to know, but if
Neither
they are,
do I.
if I've been complicit in this type of scenery, please help me, because I'm gonna now look at every scene and go, should I know more? Shouldn't I? But I guess you know what, you are limited by time, so who knows? Okay, so here we go. Big Tig and Clay scene. I've been waiting for this one, bud. And
this is the one. This is the one that I kept saying to you a few shows ago. I think there's still a scene where I go see the old man. I think, and this is it. And I've got that, as you pointed out, that handlebar mustache, which is getting salt and pepper on it every morning when Tig wakes up. Look, I think what I loved about this scene was to be able to play Tig finally, because the audience certainly knows his love for Clay and would have died for Clay back in the day. But things have changed so drastically with Clay not being upfront about shit and saying, who shot him, and it really wasn't. And then I killed, Pope's daughter accidentally. And then he does with it's such a mess now. Do you notice how when I walked in that room in his house, I didn't open the beer bottle?
No, never. Every time they cut to it, like when it was in the frame, it's the cap still on it. Of course.
And that must have been, I don't remember, but that must have been a Coates choice. Because once you open a beer bottle, you're gonna drink it. You're gonna stay a while. If you get offered a beer, which I did, and he slammed it right, put it down right in front of me, and you never open it, you're gonna go out whenever you're ready. You're gonna leave when you want.
Yeah,
and when I did leave,
have to drink, you're almost inviting in.
Yeah.
In the relationship.
But when I did leave, there was a really interesting look that Tig gives Clay, where he really just stood there at the door and thought about what Clay, see, fuck Theo, and this is what you've gotten so good at. Acting is listening. That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
That's all it is.
Don't do anything. Feel it and listen.
And respond.
And then, yeah, whatever that.
Either verbally or non-verbally.
Right.
Just respond.
But that response without saying anything said volumes, I think, for where Tig was at in his head with Clay. And then I leave, to be continued. So we'll pick up on that. All right.
And I just want to touch on that scene for a second. Again, this is one of those ones where what I got from Tig was like, I know what Clay's capable of. So it was like, what are you planning? Like, what are you planning? Because I know what you do. I know who you are.
So true.
I know what you're capable of. So and then from Tig, obviously what he said thing about his daughter, that hits Tig where it needs to hit him. It's very well placed by Clay. But then also it's that moment of Tig's always been one of those people that questions everything. Like, we know that if Jax didn't hold this thing over Tig's head, he'd be on Clay's side. Like, we know that, right?
Yeah.
And he's thinking, where is this going to land? And Tig's going, what side is this going to land on, and where do I need to be?
Yeah.
And there's something interesting that happens later with you and Jax, but we'll get to it. So it's a great scene. Now we go to Tara at the hospital watching the surgery. We zoom in on that heart beating on the screen.
And such a wonderment in her face. She was just so full of wonder. Yeah. That was her career. She's a surgeon.
She's a surgeon.
She's not a baby Gemma, even though she is now. Even though she's talking like Gemma now.
She's the most successful of anybody on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah. Give that woman some fucking respect. That's what I would say. She's a fucking surgeon. She's a fucking
My name's
surgeon.
Kara.
A neonatal heart surgeon on kids. Give her some fucking respect. You got these dumbass fucking bikers telling her, nah, you're gonna have people get murdered in front of you. I'd be like, I am out of here. Goodbye.
Yeah.
I could do so much better than this. Like, but whatever. It is.
I know.
So Dios Norte opening, these were always funny. Everybody's got to come in like it's like we're swinging through the doors of an old Western. We come in. Right?
Jack
like
is calling Chris Shrek. Go at it, Shrek.
Yeah.
That was good. It's funny.
So yeah, it is funny. And so I want to bring something up that drives me absolutely insane in the
bananas,
insane, completely fucking loco is when Bobby fires the gun in a residential neighborhood. Thank God that Happy says what he says, because Happy says, hey dude, you just fired a gun, because Nero's in his fricas in the back with his old crew. I love most of those actors. We know most of them.
They're great. All of them. All those boys were so good.
All fucking stupendous actors. Nero is at the top of his game. This is probably Jimmy's best episode.
And the way he talks to them and the essay and the street slang.
Everything.
So good.
I'm back. I'm fucking back. I love it. So he's at the top of his fucking game here. And we'll get on that scene with Gemma later. But fuck.
Yeah.
Jimmy is like, this is A plus rating fucking acting here by Jimmy. But it starts with this scene in the back where these guys want guns. Here comes the crew. Fucking gang that can't shoot straight. Everybody's coming out. Bobby fires the gun. We're in a residential neighborhood. That is mentioned many times.
Yeah.
And this is the oxymoron of stupidity. You want this heat here in this residential neighborhood, it's going to cause problems for the business. No, you just firing a fucking gun in the street is going to cause problems, not two guys yelling at each other. And thank God Happy added that line or whatever that was said, where he's like, but that's the stuff that happens that drives me bananas. Jack says, give him the guns. Obviously, we're setting up for our action scene later. Clay and then is at TM, which makes Juice go on the move. Juice is on the move. He's going somewhere. And now she starts trying to play him for these documents, but he doesn't fall for it. Chucky's doing the
Dr. Seuss stuff. Yeah.
That's a new thing. It's a new wrinkle.
Did you say it's a new Rico?
Wrinkle. It's a new Rico. It's a
That's
new wrinkle.
a new Rico because it's a new wrinkle in the Chucky character. You know, look, if you're Michael Unstein and you get offered Chucky, you know, you need 50 shows or 60 or 20, whatever, and they go, you're gonna masturbate a lot and you're gonna have to cut your fingers off and you're gonna turn into Dr. Seuss. And I'm going, where do I sign personally? There's nothing around you. You can do it. Huh?
There's no box.
You're not in a box. No. You can do whatever the fuck you want. And trust me,
he could literally show up dressed in like a Care Bears costume and everybody be like, oh, there's Chucky. Like, it doesn't matter. There's nothing.
And then Clay goes, is it me? And Gemma goes, no, he's pretty much certifiably crazy now. Like, do whatever you want. And that's good dialogue. So Juice, you run to Clay's house now, right?
Well, no. So now Juice is on the run, but we get to this next scene before any of that happens. Because he's not falling for the document thing. She's talking about her Thomas, and I love this Unser chemo scene with Tara.
The Tara Unser chemo.
I fucking love it. Maybe it's because they're on the move, but from beginning to end, this is like one of my favorite scenes I've ever seen on the show.
And let's tell the peeps, tell our fam, like Dayton Callie plays the saxophone. Like he plays it so well. And Sutter put sax music in the hospital to drive him bananas, calling it Kenny G stuff or whatever. That was for Dayton. He put that in for Dayton to drive him nuts. Because if it ain't the greatest saxophone player, it'll do.
His favorite.
What a cool scene those two had, man.
And what I liked about it's the scene on the move. They're on the move. It's extremely human. She's trusting him, right? Like she trusts in him, and there's crying, there's laughing, there's sickness, there's the kids.
There's puking, there's puking, there's throwing up.
And everyone it's just so realistic. Like it's such a real scene. There's no pushing, there's no pulling, there's no forcing.
Great point.
No forcing.
No.
Just two people doing their thing. So I love that. So now we go to Clay with the cartel. Fine, whatever. He tells them, this. I don't. You know what I hate too, and maybe it reminds me of those old TV shows. Flashing the badge means nothing to me. Anybody can get a badge. Like, he flashes the badge. I'd be like, all right. So what does that mean? I could have bought that on the internet.
It's a reminder. It's just a reminder.
It's like a reminder. Like,
Mr. and Mrs. Wayburn in Saskatchewan. They're not as street savvy as you. They just want to see the badge. Hey, honey, they showed them the badge.
Showed the badge. Let them in. Let them in. It's the cops.
It's the cops.
Yeah, silly. So, okay, which we have to go to, and you have to tell me about this because we go to the big action scene. What the fuck happened this day? You were there.
Yeah. Take us back with Jax, Chibs, and Happy. Oh, this fucking scene. Okay, so can you say stuff now like we said back then? Like 10 too many wetbacks?
Yeah.
Like, can you say that now?
No, you can't say it now, but I mean, that was Sons of Anarchy.
Okay, so look, this is all I fucking remember, okay? If you looked at this scene and we're in that station wagon and I go, maybe we should get the fuck out of here. All I remember is the stunt guy telling us, okay, Charlie, you're going to get in the front, Chibs, then Coatesy, and then Happy, you're in the back because you got to shoot through the back. So we blocked it all out. Then I remember, because you remember my nickname was Safety First.
Yep.
I went, so Hunnam isn't driving this thing off the cliff. And the stunt guy goes right away. No, he's not. But we are going to have you guys get in the station wagon on the other side of the cliff and just go down that hill for about 50 feet, and we'll just make it live.
Right.
And
But was there anyone in when they flipped it?
No, there was no one in. That car hit like a little thing, a Jimmy, and it fucking flipped over. But I'm thinking when I saw the show, because I'd seen this show, we're dead. Like we don't have seatbelts.
Especially in an old station wagon.
Yeah, we're crushed. We're crushed. But no, we're not. It's Sons of Anarchy. So, and then I remember when Clay said to me in the scene previous, where he goes, watch Jax. I'm coming. I might need you. I'm planning stuff. Jax isn't this. Jax isn't that. I played in that scene. What the fuck is Jax doing?
I can see that.
What are we doing in this station wagon right now? But we escaped, and nothing broke down because the Sons of Anarchy got to go.
And it led to one of Happy's biggest lines.
Beautiful. Rapturous, that one.
I'm rapturous. And I did like everybody yelling together and screaming and having that moment. Also, there was a lot of Uzis being shot up top when we were just driving in circles. I'm assuming someone would have got hit, but just Happy got hit, right? It probably would have been worse than that in the real life. But again, it is what it is, right? But I love that scene just for the yelling. I love the scene for the yelling. Woo! So now we go to a quick bar scene, and then we get to this Clay and Jack scene. It's really well shot, that scene, from the deep lens of like showing Clay small up into Jack standing.
Oh yeah,
kind of yeah, it's really well shot. Clay basically is trying to give him advice, and this is that old dog, right? Who's like, "Hey man, I'm telling you, don't run into traffic." And it's like, "I got it. I'm fast." And it's like, you might not want to go. You never know if a car's going faster. And I'm just telling you. And he's more focused on his hate than hearing the words of wisdom that are coming from Clay, regardless of what he's doing. At this moment, it does feel like Clay's being sincere in what he's saying.
I agree.
And I just think that Jax is so filled with anger that he can't see past anything that's smart or rational or, whatever. And it was driving me nuts because he's telling him everything. The CIA asked, and then he asked the cartel, Clay asked the cartel to back off. Don't do this. But listen, their relationship is so interesting.
Oh, it's so full of just hate and it's just riddled with just bad vibes, those two, when they're together, man.
Yep. So then Gemma and Jimmy scene. This is such a fucking great scene. But I have one weird. Oh no, this is not that scene. Okay, this is Gemma and Jimmy, and then Clay sees them together. And this is one of my favorite things. This is, again, never written. Unser hands Clay the joint. Did you see that?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's such a great move. It's those little things.
Pearl takes a puff from Unser. I got it written down right here. He had the bad fortune. Huh?
So great when they do that.
Great. Unser's like, remember that time that he offered to stall a joint? She turns it down and he goes, I think you're going to need it.
I think you're going to want to take this.
I think you're going to want to take a hit.
So then we go to Tara with that hospital head. That kind of took me for a moment where I go, is she going to say no? I thought she was saying no, and she ultimately was saying yes.
Yeah, but what I loved from it is the gal goes, so what does your husband do? And Tara goes, he's an automotive mechanic, and he owns a small business. And I'm just thinking, like, if she should have literally said, he's the president of a 1% club. It's called Sons of Anarchy. We have 2 children together. He's killed 85 men. He's not in prison, and I love him. I love him. You should see him with a shirt on.
People, and he's always on the edge.
Yeah, that's what she should have said.
So anyway. I'm going to bring him to Providence with me. So just get ready because he might kill 86 people there. Yeah, that's basically what's happening. Okay, so she says yes, but the big part of that scene is that she says yes without talking to Jax truly about it and getting his, not consent, but his like agreement of they're going to do this move. She's making a move
this,
without him.
right. And this show's all about everyone needs more time. Clay needs more time. Juice needs more time.
Yeah.
Tara needs more time. Everyone is like, time is running out. The cartel needs more time. Everyone needs more time because things are about to hit this, explosion button.
Such is life, Kim Coates. Such is life.
Such is life.
We all need more time.
More time.
I want less time. Okay. So now we get to the second intro of Lee Turek.
Yeah.
And I really do like the way they're kind of rolling this guy out because he says, I'm just a citizen. And these upcoming months are going to be the worst in your absolute existence. And for someone like Otto, who usually controls the narrative in every scene he's in, meaning that he drives that car. If you're talking to him, that character is going to take you down where he wants to take you. That's over with now. This guy is taking him where he wants to take him.
Isn't it funny? I don't remember who Donald plays. I mean,
Me neither.
This is so fascinating to me. But the way he's in that prison and the way they open that door for him and the way they let him sit down and punch the shit out of him and now just tell him, I'm going to be your worst fucking nightmare.
Yeah. Who is he?
Who is he?
I don't know.
Great.
I can't wait to find out. So Juice is on the search. I remember I was doing a lot of the sweat on that episode. When they do the glycerin instead of the water. Did you ever do that for sweat?
Well, no, I do K2.
Yeah, the K.
I do KY.
We do glycerin. She was doing glycerin that day where they put that glycerin oil on you and then they spray it with water to activate it. So it looks like you're literally the guy in Airplane. Remember the scene in Airplane where he's just sweating all the time? He's got the flop sweat.
With the windshield wipers coming.
Yeah, with the windshield wipers. So I'm in a full sweat. And it was pretty hot on that stage to begin with in the summer when we were shooting.
Really hot.
It really was. But this wasn't the summer. This would be around, would it be August? September. So it's still hot in LA. August and September is pretty hot.
Oh, fucking scorching.
Yeah, sometimes more than July.
So I have a question. I have a question for you. And then you look up.
Stupid.
Well, it's not stupid, but I'm literally just wondering, I guess what we as an audience.
He wanted the air because he was flop sweating.
There you go.
So that's the point of the sweat. The sweat was intentional. Because
There
I
you go.
said,
Thanks.
I'm not a big sweater to begin with. And I didn't see Juice as being like this guy who's literally covered in sweat. And I always thought it's kind of ridiculous because I'm like, unless you got to sweat up the armpits, you got to sweat. Like for him to be sweating like that, if someone was to walk in, their first question would be are you all right? What's going on? Why are you sweating like that? So what the intentional move of the sweat was that he was going to look up to get air from the vent and the air is not coming.
Thank you. I saw that, but I didn't really see it. It looked real to me, what you did. But I guess what I got out of it was you searched literally everywhere. And you were so exhausted up against the wall. You were looking up for some air and then you just stopped on that grill.
Because the air is not coming through.
Because nothing's coming through.
So that's where it's got to be because he sees the screw has been messed with.
There you go.
So that's the play there. So then the Sons are with Lynn. He'll make it work.
Big sit down.
Bobby has his tea and they're going to make it work. He's going to get these guns and Jax's plan goes in motion. And then all of a sudden, Juice tells Jax he has them.
Found them.
Jax tells him, gather the whole crew, meet at Clay's house.
Yeah.
Before that could happen, Jax gets taken.
Yeah. And that's the scene that I say, Bobby, when they rip Jax away, he literally goes, what the and then they cut.
Yeah. And again, then they stab his tire. They got the guns on him. Is what it is, right? So he can't do anything. He's hamstrung. Jax is gone. As that's happening, this was a kind of a cool move. Everybody's leaving the house now who was there.
Yeah.
Clay senses something is wrong.
Amiss.
Is it a mist?
A miss,
Or
yeah.
MIDST? Is that what you say?
A miss. MISS. A miss.
Miss?
It's not right.
Sure. Whatever. Okay. Who cares? So something's wrong.
There's who cares. God, I missed that fucking saying.
Who cares?
Something was who cares?
But he sees that the screw, Juice being not the smartest cat, didn't screw it all the way.
Didn't have
back
quite
in.
the right tools on you. You're
Didn't have
using
the
your
fucking
fingers.
tools.
You're instead of a
Didn't have
fucking
it.
screwdriver.
God, go in the garage. Get a fucking
Fucking
something.
screwdriver, Juice.
Get a fucking small ratchet. Get something. Right.
So-
So he doesn't work. And he notices, and that's how the scene ends. So we do assume Clay knows something.
Yep.
Nero decides to make a statement. We cut to Nero. Nobody sees this coming. The dudes are playing video games. Nero breaks in, busts in, asking, where's Jack's teller? So we have to assume that off screen, someone told Nero Jack's got taken, all within about 6 seconds.
Again, this episode is 57 minutes long without commercials. We've shot 10 extra pages that we didn't even make the final cut, all along with this fucking story goes so fast. And Nero turns into a straight up gangster.
He basically says, you wanted me back. I'm back.
He's back. Boom, boom, chakalaka.
I don't know why my nose is so dry today. There's something going on.
Because
in the air.
you're out, out in the land.
I'm out in the land.
You're out in the land, son. I'm in the middle of a goddamn city. You're out in the land.
I'm out in the land. It's dusty today.
It's dusty out there. I can tell. I'm looking at your face going, looks pretty, but you're dry.
No, I'm dusty, and I've been out there all day in it. I've been in the mix all day. We're planting vegetables. That's what I was doing today. Okay, so he's back, and this is what's interesting. He's back at this moment, right? And you think like, oh shit, this guy was a serious gangster, because we don't know much about it. I mean, he blows the guy's head off, but we don't know much about his pre-story, his origin story. And then all of a sudden, we're going to cut to this scene later where he's really fucking torn about it. So at that moment, he seems really confident. You wanted me back? Olale, I'm back, right? And he fucking walks out, and you go, oh shit, this could be cool. He could like take up his sector and be like, whatever, but that's not the way this is going to go. Jax is with the cartel. He's got a lot going on right now. Like, he's got so many moving parts, and
it's not good. He's not. Jax is just. He's in a fucking pickle jar, and they put the cap on. He can't even breathe anymore. He's yelling at everybody. Doesn't even know what he's fucking doing right now. I feel that.
A pickle jar that says "Who cares" on it. That's
yeah,
pickle jar that says "Who cares." The brand of pickles. Is
Jax, our number one on the call sheet. You're losing your way.
Losing his way, and then the cartel so easily, which wanted to greenlight his ass 10 minutes ago, is like, okay, let's see what happens. Sounds good. I like your plan. Okay, sure. A really easy way to wrap things up. Now we go to everyone at the table. Everyone votes yes. Really quick.
And Tommy Flanagan, the thing that I loved about this scene, it was very quick, but he was so Sean Connery. Yes. Like, you get DL with it, and you get me with my yeah, and then yes. I don't know. It was just quick. You get Clay at the end of the table, the piney seat. Everyone says yes right away. Bobby's happy. Maybe this is going to end
coming up, but he says, "Well done, son," or maybe he doesn't say "son" because he got scolded for that before. But he says, "Well done" to Jackson. He says, "Not yet."
Yeah, that's right.
That's right. It's a good line.
It's a good line.
So this was a little weird to me. They still love me, Tiggy.
Yeah, it's all bullshit. It's all bullshit, but I know why it's there, and I'm going to tell you why. Because
please.
The ending is near for Tig. It's near. And Tig's finally with the guys. We're all getting shots. Everybody, Clay walks out with Gemma. And I think the audience, whether they knew it or not, was clamoring for a Jax Tig moment. Like just